To create a new mail message, if you're sitting in the inbox, you'll see that on the Home tab you have a new email button. But if you're not sitting in the inbox, if you look at the New Items button, you can always create a new email message from any folder you happen to be sitting in. I'm going to create a new email. Immediately at the top, I can see a From option. If you have more than one account, you can choose which account you would like to send this email from. And so when I hit the drop down on the From button, I have a number of accounts I could send this email from. So I'm going to just send it from my Pane C account. I also notice that I have a To field and a CC field. But what I want to do is enable a third field. Besides To and CC, we can go to Options and turn on the BCC field. By turning this option on, it will now automatically appear whenever you create a new email. For example, if I was to close this email by hitting the close in the top right corner, and if I was to say no, that I didn't want to save the changes and create a new email again, I'll now automatically acquire a BCC field under the To and the CC. Now the idea with the To field is you use that field if you want to send a message directly to somebody, and you should only have a few names in here. So if I wanted to send an email to Debbie, I would just press D and all of those with D in their name would come up. So I'm going to send this message to Debbie. Now Debbie should feel compelled to reply to me because it's directly to her, but I'm also going to send it to another Debbie, which is Debbie Anderson. So I'm going to send it to these two people. I'm going to send a carbon copy, which is what C stands for, carbon copy. I'm going to send a carbon copy to perhaps Leanne. And I'll also send a carbon copy to perhaps Donna. So these people shouldn't feel compelled to reply to me. They've simply been kept in the loop. They've simply been kept informed about what's going on. Now the idea of the BCC is BCC stands for blind carbon copy. So if I was to hit Sammy, what will happen here is that Debbie Anderson and Debbie Hogg will see that Leanne Fowler and Donna have both been CC'd, but none of the four people in the To and the CC will know that Sammy's also been included. So the To and the CC can't see who's in the BCC. And if the BCC contains more than one person, these two people can't see each other. So the BCC really is a blind carbon copy. Nobody can see who's in the BCC, including those in the BCC can't see each other. So why would you use it? Sometimes we just simply do not want others to know that a copy was sent to somebody else. I can think of a number of scenarios. I remember when I used to train staff and they were learning, they would sometimes acquire an email that had a question they didn't know how to answer. They would forward the email to me, and when I replied to the person with the answer, I would include them in the BCC, so that the next time an email came in with that question, they would know how to answer it and not have to involve me. So it was like a learning tool for staff. The other reason I use the BCC a lot is when I want to shield people's personal information. So for example, I might backspace these people out, and instead of sending it to people in the To and the CC, I'm actually going to put everybody in the BCC. So if you have a large number of people, it's really unprofessional to put them in the To and to put them in the CC. Put them in the BCC. Then it doesn't produce a foot long of emails at the top of the email when the person goes to print it. Then it doesn't give people's personal information out left, right and centre. It's shielded. And you often get emails which say undisclosed recipient. That means that everybody who received that email was in the BCC. So let's say I want to send an email out to a large group of people. I'll click the BCC button. I'll choose the contacts folder I want to use. I'll select all the people by holding the shift and clicking the last person, and I'll put them all in the BCC. This will send out an email to all of those people, but they won't know who else got it because they won't see each other. Sometimes when I send an email to everybody I trained last week, a lot of the people I train are my competition. I train trainers. So I don't want to give them my client list. So I put all the people in the BCC so that they can't see all the emails of the people I sent it to. So turn on your BCC. That way it'll appear every time you go to create a new email. And it might stop you in your tracks, and it might make you think, maybe I should put them in the BCC. I think the worst case I recently saw was a council. They had advertised a job vacancy, and everybody that was unsuccessful at getting that job was emailed. Unfortunately, they didn't put all the email addresses in the BCC. They stuck all the email addresses in the to. So when they sent that email, everybody who got that email could see who else had applied for that position, which is very unprofessional. You don't have to fill in all three. You can just put people in the BCC. You don't have to put somebody in the to or the CC. And that's pretty much it with the to, the CC, and the BCC. So I'm just going to fill in some names. I'm going to send this email to this person and to this person, for example. Now, having sorted out the to, the CC, and the BCC, the next thing you have to do is you have to enter a subject. Do not send an email without a subject. Many email marshals are configured to block emails that don't have a subject. So organise your to, your CC, your BCC, enter a subject which briefly outlines what you're after, and then in the message area, which is this big huge area here, type what it is that you want to say, and then simply hit the send button.